Hi, Jasmine here from Redwood Financial, and this week's frequently asked question is what are the new trust registration requirements from HMRC? So these new requirements have been brought in basically to get more reporting and more information that HMRC can gather on those people that are using discretionary trusts in particular. Previously, you only had to do a tax return every 10 years on the trust, unless, of course, the trust was actually generating income or capital gains, which needed to be subject to tax in between that 10-year period. So it was a fairly sort of non-invasive process and procedure in terms of trust administration. However, HMRC now want all live trusts that are being used and meet a certain criteria to be registered and basically start submitting annual returns and information, even if there's no income tax or capital gains tax that has been triggered inside the trust or the investments themselves. So, of course, why are they doing that? They're wanting to gather more information on how many people are using trusts, what those trusts are being used for, and of course, then examining the taxation of those trusts and making sure that they're not missing out on any tax owed, and of course bringing in as much tax into the revenue system as possible. The key thing to understand though is that this is an online submission process and registration of trusts, which is important, and as trustees you do have the legal responsibility to comply with these regulations, but it doesn't affect all trusts, and it does also depend on when the trusts were open, whether or not the trusts are live right now, or whether or not the trusts are set up within your will, as to whether or not you even need to go through the registration process. So the key message is to understand that if you are a trustee of a trust, or if you are a settler and you yourself have set up a trust, it is worth making sure that you speak to your trust specialist that set these trusts up for you about whether or not you are required to do the registration, and then also advise them on whether or not you'll be doing it yourself or whether you would like a professional to help you with the registration process. For all of our clients at Redwood, we have everything under control. So if we have set up your trust for you, we will be notifying you what your requirements are if you have to register under the new HMRC scheme. And also, if you want us to take care of that for you, we will explain the process and what we need to do. So if you're a client of Redwood, don't worry, you'll be hearing from us very shortly. If we didn't set up your trust, it is just worth noting if you are a trustee or a settler of a trust, you go back and you get professional advice from the original person who set up your trust if they haven't already contacted you or are in the process of contacting you, which they should be. So hopefully that answers this week's frequently asked question. But if you want more information on this, we've got articles on our website and you can always give us a call. I look forward to answering some more questions next week.